All right, let's jump right into this explainer of 12 steps to a good life. Today, we're uncovering an incredibly simple way to fix our nutrition, completely skipping the absolute nightmare of calorie counting. We are going to look at a highly practical, no-nonsense heuristic called the white food rule. This basically means severely limiting white bread, white flour, white rice, and white potatoes. And as you'll see, doing this simple thing can easily help balance your blood sugar levels and manage your weight. But look, before we get to the rule, we gotta address the elephant in the room. Why is eating healthy so incredibly hard? Why do we constantly fail at it? I mean, we live in a world with a $50 billion weight loss industry, yet the struggle is as real as ever. It's so easy to just blame a lack of willpower, but there's actually a much deeper biological reason for our constant battle with the dinner plate. Section 1, the modern health trap. Evolution versus abundance. So here's the thing. Lounging on the couch, stuffing your face with chips, that is exactly what millions of years of evolution programmed you to do. Think about it. Sugar, salt, and fat used to be incredibly rare, high-value nutrients. Our ancestors gorged on them whenever they could because they literally never knew when their next meal was coming, and they rested to save energy for survival. Our instincts are perfectly tuned for a world of scarcity. But in our modern world of absolute abundance, those exact same instincts, well, they kind of make us lazy and overweight.
Moving on to Section 2, 4 Pillars of Health, Building a Solid Foundation. Before we zoom in purely on our diets, the source gives us this holistic, ridiculously simple blueprint for our daily health. Because good health isn't built on extreme short-term goals or these massive bursts of willpower that just leave you totally exhausted. It's built on a daily foundation. Maintaining that foundation is really just about optimizing 4 daily habits. Think, eat, sleep, and move. Notice how think comes first? That's because getting healthy in a modern lifestyle goes directly against those natural survival instincts we just talked about. You have to actively create a healthy mindset to prioritize the other 3. But for this explainer, we're really going to focus heavily on that second pillar, eat. All right, Section 3, Decoding Crap Foods, the industrial trap. Let's really dig into that eat pillar. If we want to eat healthy, we need to know exactly what is hijacking our evolutionary cravings in the first place.
Enter a highly appropriate, kind of hilarious acronym to describe the ultra-processed junk surrounding us. Crap foods, calorie-rich and processed. These are formulations of ingredients designed for exclusive industrial use. They're highly profitable, ridiculously cheap to manufacture, and incredibly convenient for us to buy. And they are literally everywhere, purposely engineered in labs to make us crave more and more of them.
So the absolutely crucial point here is watching out for the 6 C's of crap food. These are the worst offenders hiding in your pantry right now. Cola, cookies, candy, cake, cereal, the sweetened kind of course, and chips. When we eat these, our bodies get a massive influx of calories with almost zero actual nutrition. It's a total raw deal.
Which brings us to Section 4, the white food rule, a simple heuristic for weight management. Just when you're expecting another lecture on white-knuckling your willpower to avoid those 6 C's, the source drops this ultimate, low-friction payload for weight loss and blood sugar balance. This right here is the absolute core of our explainer today.
The true beauty of this rule is the sheer simplicity. You don't need a spreadsheet. You don't need a tracking app. You just need to severely limit 4 specific items: white bread, white flour, white rice, and white potatoes. By just sidestepping these rapid-digesting, highly processed carbs, you automatically cut out a massive chunk of those crap foods we just talked about. This naturally balances your blood sugar levels, all without any complex calorie counting.
And it's not about starving yourself, it's just about replacing. You swap out rapid-digesting white foods for complex carbohydrates. Try brown rice instead of white rice, whole grains instead of white flour, and non-starchy vegetables instead of white potatoes. It's just an incredibly practical way to start balancing your diet without the total mental fatigue of strict measurement. To give this heuristic a solid backbone of data, you want to aim to cap your added sugar at less than 50 grams daily. To visualize that, 50 grams is about 12.5 teaspoons. Remember, when you eat a lot of sugar, it literally trains your body to crave more sugar. But by cutting down on the white foods and the 6 C's, your added sugar intake naturally plummets on its own. Furthermore, we should be limiting sodium to under 2,300 milligrams a day to really support this new dietary baseline. To put that into perspective, that's less than half a teaspoon. Again, the magic of the white food rule is that by avoiding heavily processed industrial foods, you are almost by default avoiding the hidden sodium bombs that cause bloating and blood pressure spikes. Okay, section 5, making the rule stick. Beating the pig. Setting rules like avoiding white flour or capping sugar is super easy on paper, but actually keeping them is notoriously hard, which is why we need a highly memorable concept to help us form lasting habits, so we don't just give up when things get a little tough.
Meet your enemy, the pig. Personal instant gratification. Whatever you do, do not feed the pig. This is that annoying voice in your head demanding a quick reward right now, completely at the expense of your long-term health goals. It's that intense desire for a sugary donut when you know for a fact you should grab an apple. The pig is the absolute enemy of your new white food rule.
So, how do we actually defeat the pig? Well, instead of relying on massive willpower, which we all know totally depletes when we're tired or stressed, the trick is to slip right under your brain's radar, using the concept of ridiculously small changes. These are actions taking 30 seconds or less. They are so incredibly easy that your brain doesn't even trigger its natural resistance to hard work. For example, swap one single white potato side dish for a vegetable. Just one. Drink a single glass of water. Eat one carrot. These steps are so brilliantly easy that they require zero motivation. By doing things that take almost no effort, you build the habit over months without burning out. You really don't need a radical 21-day transformation. You just need to make one ridiculously small change today and then do it again tomorrow. Now, when those cravings do hit and the pig starts squealing, you can use these 2 practical mindfulness tools. First, the hunger level scale. Pause for a second and rate your hunger from 1 to 10. Are you actually physically hungry, or are you just tired, thirsty, or emotional? Second is hara hachibun mi, which is the Japanese practice of eating only until you are 80% full. You really don't need to be stuffed to the brim. Realizing that being slightly hungry isn't fatal is an absolute superpower for weight management. There's this profound quote from Hippocrates that basically hits the nail on the head regarding this holistic and simplified approach. You don't need magic pills, you don't need punishing diets, and you certainly don't need to hate the process. Taking back control of our bodies is just about clear thinking, simple rules like avoiding those white foods, moving daily, and practicing moderation. So I'm going to leave you with this question to spark your own journey. We've seen how our biology fights us, we've identified the crap foods, and we have the white food rule as our incredibly simple guide. So rather than planning some massive, exhausting lifestyle overhaul for tomorrow, what is your first ridiculously small change going to be today? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you next time.